Good morning, dear students. Today we are going to discuss chapter 1, chemical reaction and equation. In this chapter, we will discuss about chemical reaction, how chemical reaction is performed. For example, chemical reaction, actually changes are two type. You have studied in class 9th, that is chemical changes and physical changes. Those changes which return back to their initial states are physical one, and those changes which are not returned to their original states are characterized as chemical changes. This thing you know from class 9th, right? So when, for example, I give you example of burning of agarbatti, okay, right, or burning of any paper, so it become ash, right? So that ash cannot become again paper or again agarbatti, anything it cannot become. So this is type of a chemical change. Take for example, milk become curd, but curd cannot become milk. This is a kind of chemical change. Okay. So in this chapter, we will discuss about all the properties or how the chemical reactions perform. What are the process to become to uh, perform a chemical reaction? What are the process take place? How equation will be formed? How we balance a equation? These are sometimes some kind of questions will be arises, and we will give the answer of these questions. Okay. Let's see from here the process in which, this is the definition for chemical reaction. You can also write it in your fair copy. Okay. The process in which new substance with new properties are formed. As I told you that when milk become curd, so this is a kind of chemical reaction. Therefore then the properties of milk and the properties of curd are totally different to each other. Okay. The process in which new substance with new properties are formed from one or more substance is called chemical reaction, right? uh, this is the definition. So एक या एक से ज्यादा सब्सटेंस से अगर कोई दूसरा सब्सटेंस बनता है और उसकी नई प्रॉपर्टी होती है, तो दैट विल बी known as chemical reaction. Okay. So chemical reaction has what? See here, the substance which take part in chemical reaction are called reactants. इसको reactant बोला जाएगा. ठीक है. And the substance which take uh, which are not formed in a chemical reaction are called product. तो दो, जैसे फॉर एग्जांपल अगर मैं आपसे बात करूं, आई हैव कार्बन प्लस ऑक्सीजन, ठीक है, ऑक्सीजन O2 लिखा जाता है, तो आई विल गेट कार्बन डाइऑक्साइड. सो ठीक है. तो reactant, the substance which take part, so carbon and oxygen are taking part in this chemical reaction, so they are become our reactants, and carbon dioxide is our product, the substance which are formed in the chemical reaction. तो CO2 is formed, ये बना हुआ है, जिनने पार्ट लिया that are C and O2, और जो final product है that is CO2. So these are reactants. Okay. or this is product. Okay. like that. For example, अब कुछ example है, few are examples of chemical reaction, that is digestion of food. When you eat food and food become digested, so the digestion product will not again become your food. So this is the process of your chemical reaction. Respiration is also a process of chemical reaction. ठीक है. Rusting of iron, iron में जंग लगना, this is also a process of chemical reaction. बर्निंग ऑफ मैग्नीशियम रेवन, एक मैग्नीशियम रेवन होता है, आई विल शो यू इन योर लेबोरेटरी व्हेन यू कम टू स्कूल. बर्निंग ऑफ मैग्नीशियम is रेवन is also a chemical formation of curd, as we discussed. Okay, these are what chemical reaction. A chemical reaction involves, what are the factors which are involved in the chemical reaction when any chemical reaction is performed? What the so change in state, it may be either liquid state or gaseous state or solid state. The state may be changed. Okay. When chemical reaction performs, so state may be changed, it may not also change, but sometimes so. Okay. चेंज इन कलर, स्टेट बदल सकता है, चेंज इन कलर, कलर आल्सो चेंज. Okay, reactants color have different color and product have different color along with different property. Change in temperature, temperature also change, right? Evolution of gas, some gases are evolved when chemical action is performed. These are the changes that will be performed after when you involve in a chemical reaction. So you have to write this also and list it out that what are the changes taken place when chemical reaction is involved. Change in state, change in color, change in temperature, as well as change in gases or evolution of gases taken place. Okay. After that, this is the way. So we will go with why ways of representing a chemical reaction, right? So how will we represent a chemical reaction? I told you there's अभी मैंने एक example दिया था. This is what carbon plus oxygen, O2 stands for oxygen, so it becomes CO2. So this is one way that I represent the chemical equation, that carbon plus oxygen you will give you carbon dioxide. So this is also we also going to discuss the way of reproduction. So there are two ways. One way is word equation or another way is chemical equation. So this I am using is a chemical equation. Okay, this one chemical equation. Chemical equation involves formulas. Okay, chemical notation. For example, Zn stands for zinc, H2SO4 stands for sulfuric acid. So chemical reaction involves formula like structure. Okay, and word equation like words, use words. So in word equation, uh, reactants has zinc and sulfuric acid. Zinc plus sulfuric acid, this is LHS side, which is known as reactants. And after there, when they both are mixed, so after in sometime in product, I will get zinc sulfate, and zinc with sulfuric acid, it forms zinc sulfate and evolution of hydrogen gas. Okay, so zinc sulfate plus hydrogen gas found in product. This is our product. So this is one type of equation, which is a word equation, and same equation can be represented through this one also. Okay, so this is our formula. Zinc plus H2SO4. Zn stands for zinc and H2SO4 stands for sulfuric acid. This is so formula, it becomes ZnSO4, that is zinc sulfate, and H2 gas is evolved. This is there. So these are the two ways to represent any equation when you go through, because many of the questions will come in your exam to represent equation and as well as balance these equation. So first you learn how to represent the equation, then we will learn how to balance the equation. ठीक है, तो ये आपको बहुत important है. और few equations you can also write with word equation. In evening I will give you some equations and you have to write it as well as word equation and in chemical equation, ठीक, in homework. Okay, उसके बाद आएगा केमिकल इक्वेशन, ये हम पढ़ेंगे, और बैलेंसिंग ऑफ केमिकल इक्वेशन. सो इन नेक्स्ट क्लास वी विल डिस्कस बैलेंसिंग ऑफ केमिकल इक्वेशन. अप टू हियर यू विल मेक दी नोट्स. ओके, राइट, तो यहाँ तक आप कवर करेंगे. ओके, और ये केमिकल इक्वेशन में इसमें भी चाहो आप कंप्लीट कर लेना, मैं इसको फिर नेक्स्ट क्लास में यहाँ से स्टार्ट करता हूँ. ओके, तो गुड डे, बाय बाय, थैंक यू.